and welcome to Business 300. My name is Philip Kulenshoff, and this is 300 Seconds About Business. We're all a busy people, so I have 5 minutes or less to get my point across. Having standards like 5-minute episodes makes things predictable and easier to work with. It's great when our work is like that. Unless you keep having the same problem that you've gotten proficient at fixing, or you're universally equipped with tools, material, and expertise, home maintenance is typically the sort of burden that requires much more time and effort than seems reasonable. You have a leak somewhere in your dishwasher that requires you to disassemble it to investigate. In doing so, you find more problems or break something in the process. You have to make multiple trips to Home Depot. You don't have the right tools. You need to order a part and wait for it to come in. A little problem quickly escalates into a big project when you're not sure what it entails from the start or don't have the right tools and expertise. This sort of situation is annoying but acceptable more or less when it comes to home maintenance. However, when it comes to serving our customers, a chaotic approach that seems like you're doing it for the first time when it's not your first time is not okay, even if you have a handyman business. In episode 75, I promised to work through what is known as the 7 wastes. These are the 7 categories of everything that gets in the way of providing value to your customer. Things your customer is unwilling to pay you for. Things that burden both your customer and your business. I've gotten through the first 2, overproduction and over-processing. And now it's time for the third one, motion. The waste of motion is any unnecessary movement that you or your workers are doing to get the job done, such as looking for something, reaching for it, stacking parts, sorting through tools, or walking around to get what you need. Limiting as much movement as you can in order to get the job done is what you're after when trying to get rid of the waste of motion. But in order to do that, it's helpful to understand why we move around unproductively when we should be working. To do that, we can look at the difference between prototype work and production work. When you're in the prototype stage, you're developing, testing, and trying what works and what doesn't. A new product or idea is in the prototyping stage when it's, new. You don't know yet what you don't know. So trying to create standards and efficiencies prematurely will hurt more than help. You lack the understanding of what it takes to get the job done. You don't have set standards. This is appropriate for when you're developing something new. But a business is an organized way to serve a person in exchange for profit. If the product is developed or the service you're providing is well known, meaning you're in the production stage of value delivery, but you continue acting like you're in the prototype stage, both your customer and your business suffers, in this case, by having a whole ton of unnecessary motion to get the job done. We stay in the prototyping garage hobby mindset long past the point of ripening for 2 reasons. The first is that we refuse to identify the understanding of what it takes to get the job done. Especially in a service business or built-to-order environment, we're doing it wrong if we keep having to figure things out as we go along. We're under some impression that we cannot define the order of work. But when we spend even a little bit of time identifying what it takes, we realize that much of the work is repetitive, if not in the specifics, in the categorical process. So we should set up for repetitive work. A good handyman may not know what's behind the dishwasher leaking, but he is equipped with the necessary tools and material to tackle the majority of the variability. He's done this before. The second reason is that we lack the discipline to set and enforce standards. Do you have a place for everything and everything in its place in the workstation, and the discipline to keep it so? Professional kitchen chefs call it mise à plat. Have the necessary tools and material identified and ready to go before starting the work, and reset to start point at the end of the job in order to be ready for the next shift. Put it in your operating procedure and make sure it happens. Something practical to put into practice. Lean experts train 5S in order to set up the work area for flow. But you can simplify that into 3S: sweep, sort, standardize. At the end of every shift, 3S the workstation in order to set it up for flow by eliminating opportunities for motion. So again, to eliminate motion, first, realize that whether categorically or concretely, you do repetitive work. Identify it and get set up for it. And second, in your setting up, set and enforce standards to have a place for everything and everything in its place. 3S away from wasteful motion and into a state of flow.